Now I'm going to be talking about cross-cutting, this idea of cutting between two different scenes that are happening at the same time. Again, we're going to take a look now at another clip from the Netflix series Narcos Mexico. We're going to use it in this case to compare and contrast two characters and kind of the lifestyle or life they're leading, right? In this case, we have Amado Carrillo Fuentes, who is becoming one of the biggest, it actually was one of the biggest cartel bosses in the world at some point. And so then we have our other character, Walt Breslin, who was a DEA agent who is after Amado Carrillo Fuentes. And you know, as we saw here before, Amado now has built his huge mansion where he doesn't even know where the kitchen is. And then we have our DEA agent who's living in the barracks with the soldiers in Tijuana, right? So we use this device to compare and contrast these two characters. So let's check it out, the scene from Narcos Mexico.
Señor.
Para la cocina, mija.
There you go. I gotta say, I really love that song. But you can see, you know, this was a device, the cross-cutting device of cutting between these two different scenes, which was used to highlight, in this case, this is the biggest drug dealer in the world at the moment in the story, who has just built this extravagant mansion that he is literally lost in it, lost in his world, right? And he can't even find the kitchen, doesn't even know how to operate the new fancy espresso machine, right? And then fellow DEA agents doing the same thing, but with these, you know, barracks and with the soldiers in Tijuana, different, obviously very different living conditions, right? And then further enhance that contrast with, you know, obviously then the music. This is something that can happen at the script level, right? It can already be written into the script as to say we want to cross-cut between these two scenes. Or what can happen as well is that these scenes exist separately, and then as you are working, say, doing your editor's cut, doing your own version of the cut as an editor, and say, or working with a director or producer, you realize, well, how about we just combine them to, say, further enhance that contrast, right? Depending on, again, what story it is that you want to tell. And certainly cross-cutting is something that is used definitely to compare and contrast different characters.
Is that our split screen or is that?
He's clean, in my opinion.
You mean
Boys did.
he's hygienic?
The one.
He's honest.
Yeah,
He's
90%
representing
are
himself to
split screens.
In his business, that's nothing.
We did a lot of split screens, taking different performances out of different takes and recombining them. A lot of invisible stuff like that.
Sometimes we are looking at our footage and we're going along editing our sequence, and we realize we come across a shot where, say, two people are speaking, and we like the performance from one character and not so much from the other in one specific shot. And so right now, what we want to do is talk about split screens, because what we would like is then to hopefully look at another take and say where we did like that performance from the other actor, and we want to combine both of them, right, and create one take. And so we do that using split screen. So let's take a look at this clip from the short film Overtime.
So, big plans for tonight?
Nope, just a quiet one.
Friday night, big man. You should be tearing up the town.
Maybe we like Megan's performance here, but we want to switch out Ralph's performance. Get to something different, and we're gonna then try to find that in another take. Maybe we like that delivery from Ralph more than our original clip, so we're gonna combine both of them. So let's go back to then our original clip. We'll start off by cutting out Ralph. And so we'll click into our clip here and go to Effects Controls, head down here to our masks, and select this pen tool. We're just gonna draw around, Megan here, so that we keep her and we cut out Ralph. We mask him out. We're gonna draw a mask around Megan. So let's start clicking around. And there, we lost Ralph, right? So now we cut out his dialogue, and we're gonna use then this other clip. All right, so then now we just gotta fill this hole here. And what do? Well, we just, very easy, just drag out Ralph's shot, drag it back.
So, big plans for tonight?
Nope, just a quiet one.
Friday?
And there, we combined both shots. One of the cool things about adding a mask here in Premiere is that it automatically adds some feathering to that mask, so it kind of better blends both shots together, right? You don't see the line of the actual mask going around Megan in this case, so that's pretty cool. And so therefore you don't even notice that two shots are being combined. So this is obviously a great technique, a great way to do this, to combine, say, different performances from different takes. Say in this case when two characters are speaking. Let's talk about creating a montage now. A montage is a juxtaposition of images put together and cut to usually some type of music, or a cool song, and used to usually condense time or convey a certain message. So I'm going to show you now an example of a montage here using a sequence here from Narcos Mexico. Talk to you about why we chose to use a montage, right? Because honestly, at the script level, it wasn't like this, right? So I'm going to show you what a montage is and why we chose to do it in this particular sequence.
In December of 1993, the death of Pablo Escobar was front-page news, but there was still plenty of coke in Juarez, moving across the border into El Paso. Amado's news system was up and running, but when you're moving that much volume, something can always go wrong. But even when it did, the operation didn't miss a beat.
You telling me these jokers packed you with 34 keys? And you don't have so much as a name if something went wrong?
So as you can see, we're just cutting different images together, jumping in time, and we have a cool song there, and we added some voiceover, right? Our narrator is telling us a very important part of the story, at least where we're at in this series, in that this case, Pablo Escobar has been killed. There's a new cartel leader in Mexico by the name of Amado Carrillo Fuentes. He's moving a lot of drug now into the US, and the DEA is slowly picking up on that. I can tell you that originally this sequence did not look like this. Here we actually cut to him walking, finding the car, getting in the car, finding the keys, And then we would cut to a drone shot of him driving through the city. We started a new cue, a new song. He's driving. We had another story beat where he feels that someone is following him, which then distracts him, makes him nervous, and then eventually, runs through that red light and gets hit by the truck. The drugs go flying, and then he's arrested by the DEA, right? Really talking with the producers and saying, how can we cut this down and make it much more effective? It's just too long. So the first idea was to start trimming it down and making it more into a montage. Obviously, we knew we had a song originally, in that beginning of this montage, how it looked before. We had a song that only carried us through this section of the cars being packed, and so then we just decided to extend that song, which again it was a different song. We decided to just extend it, have it go through the entire sequence so that it carries us throughout this montage. Just have one song throughout versus jumping in and out of songs and scenes, and it was just way too long. We're trying to condense this time. So basically what was originally, say, maybe a 5-minute section, right, of story, now we trimmed it down to, say, less than a minute, right? So make sure that we keep that pacing, that momentum going. We don't, bog down that pacing, right? And so we decided to just condense everything by creating a montage. Part of that is adding some really cool music to carry us through, and as well as some voiceover to communicate that information that we need the audience to hear.